And now, broadcasting live from the Darkroom Studio at Craven Community College, it's In the Know.
Hey, and welcome to In the Know. This is the show we do here on the campus of Craven Community College. I'm Craig Ramey. I just hang out here sometimes by myself when the camera looks like this, but I'm not really by myself. I got a friend here with me. It's good to do shows with friends. Over to my right, who do we have?
Good morning, everybody. It's Megan Johnson. Glad to be with you today. Today is Wednesday, the what?
7th, December 7th.
December 7th. Gosh, we shouldn't be in December. I mean, I'm just saying the year has flown by.
It really has.
That's
one of those things where people say it and it's like, yeah, it's kind of small talk, but
yeah,
it really does feel weird. Like
does.
When I go back and I look at the things that I've done, I have to rely on Facebook memories and my calendar to see what I actually did because it feels like it just was a blur.
Well, speaking of calendars, so probably why I didn't recognize today's date, sorry about that, everybody, is I'm already planning 2024's classes. And so I was working with an instructor and we were going through and it had all the national holidays, but one of them it didn't have on there was Easter. And of course, we're always closed. The college is always closed Easter Monday.
Yes.
And our students and faculty have off the whole week of Easter. In 2024, are you ready for this? Easter falls on March 31st. That's Sunday.
That seems very early.
I know. Well, I always...
So is that what's happening? We're back in the Matrix again, right? They're just taking days away from me and not telling me. Every time I go to sleep, I wake up, they've pulled another day.
Well, it has something to do with... I'll make sure I come back with the right information next time because I read it and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize this. I always thought it was the first Sunday after the full week of April.
Mm-hmm. Who's making these decisions? Seriously, that's somebody's job, right? Somebody's sitting around.
Really
they're sitting in a room. They've got a board table and a bright light sitting over, and they're going over all of the dates.
Who's ever seen Easter in March? I mean, I don't think that's ever happened in my lifetime.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I think it may have.
Really?
Maybe. I feel like it moves around. It's one of those holidays.
Are you saying I'm old?
Yes. It happened before I was born, but you were born. Yeah.
You mean there are 3 months between us?
Yes, exactly. We need to make sure that we also give a little shout out to the booth, right?
Yes, because they know exactly where they are today.
Do they?
Yes, they always do. Because there's Zanetta, and then Eli's in the back, and there's our guest. That's going to
be. We got Matt Arthur, and we've also got Hadley in there, who's off to the side from Tryon Palace. We'll be talking to them in a little bit about what's going on with Candlelight and holiday tours and all the fun stuff they got going on.
Fun stuff going on. It continues to get us all merry and bright for the holidays.
You're in the holiday spirit.
Actually, I'm struggling to get
You're
there.
dressed in black today. How did this happen?
But I've got gold and sparkle on. I mean, doesn't that look? See my sleeves? Aren't they fun?
Okay.
Yeah, it is fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting too close to the table. You can't really see them. I'm still kind of blurry, Eli. That's my pretty filter, right? That makes me look younger.
You have to stop moving. He's got a very narrow depth of focus for you, I think. You want to call him in here to help you out?
No, as long as I'm still,
yeah.
The wrinkles are all blurred out. We're good.
Yeah. Right? She won't notice. I'm blurry,
Yeah.
Eli.
Yeah, you're good.
That's okay.
But so on the one day that I actually tried to wear something festive for the occasion.
I forgot my pin. I know.
And you didn't wear anything
but
holiday-based at all.
I also forgot my earrings, too. I told you. I walked
What
out
is
of the house.
happening in the
I know,
world?
I felt like I was naked.
Yeah.
Lipstick and earrings are very important.
I know. I got mine.
Your lipstick.
Yes. But yeah, look. I mean,
they're cute. It's little kitty cats with hats.
Can we get a little close up on that? Yes.
Very
Dancing
festive.
Christmas cats.
Yeah. So, and your cat that wears the Christmas bow tie.
Yes. But it's not. He doesn't just wear it at Christmas.
Okay. It's Halloween, too.
It's whenever Fenton feels like putting it around his neck. It turns up every couple of months, and he sees it, and then he'll find the cat, and usually it's Chewy, because Oliver won't keep it on. So he'll put it on Chewy's neck, and then Chewy will make his way outside and will forget that he's got it on, and then you see this very formal Chippendales-like cat prancing around the front yard in his little bow tie.
Chewy the Chippendale.
Chewy the Chippendale.
Now, is it Chewy after, like, Chewbacca? Or is
Yes,
it
it was,
Chewy
actually.
Okay, so it's not Chewy because he likes to chew stuff.
Yeah, full disclosure, yes, it was a Star Wars name in the beginning, right? Chewbacca. And then it got shortened to Chewy. Chewy. And then nobody cares about this, but I care,
Chewy?
so I'm going to say it anyway.
And then it got Chewy.
And then Chewy. Yeah. Then he sneezed, and then we changed it to Choo Choo, and then it turned into tutu, and then a high-pitched tutu. And then now if he's on the other side of the yard and you have to call him, it's a little song that goes, tui, 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 tui.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot involved. So when you're singing that song and he's wearing the bow tie, it all makes a lot of sense.
And they're like, oh, that's the cat from that family.
Exactly. Yeah. We stand out on our street as one of these things is not like the other, and that's okay.
Now, you guys decorated in the past years. You did a lot of decorating in the front yard. Are you doing that again?
Yep, I did it Sunday, actually.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we all did it together, but for me personally, my part was Sunday. Because it's just been really busy the last couple of weeks because, they were
Shows
moving
and all that
with shows, and they've been moving the calendar around. And like I said, every time I go to sleep, I think another day has been stolen from me when I wake up. So in either case.
That's what happens when you go to sleep and you wake up and the next day it's a new day.
No, that's not how this works.
That's exactly how it works.
There's somebody stealing from me.
Nope.
And when I go to bed, and then I
You're
wake up in
calendar
another
Scrooge.
place. Yeah. No, I am a calendar Scrooge, yes. I went to Pinecone Perennials and got a tree. And am I banging on the table?
A little bit.
Give me the look.
I'm just, okay, she said you were
She
okay.
goes, yeah, see, I got it covered.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Bang, bang. But yeah, I went to Pinecone Perennials. They have a lot of great trees there. That was the first time I
heard
got
they were
one
pretty.
They're
My
very
daughter
pretty.
came home.
Yep.
and
They have
said-
some really big ones too. If you've got an enormous house, then they've got the tree for you. I do not.
And with big price tags?
Some of them, yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're going to be a little bit more than some of the other lots, that's for sure. But they also do have a great selection. It's a local business, so don't mind helping them out that way.
Sure.
But yeah, so the Canterbury Christmas balls, that's what I had to do on Sunday. So that's always fun. They were lining up for the parade on Sunday while I was doing that, so I got to see sort of a parade of people going to the parade line. And of course, people were watching me hang the balls, and not everybody's seen that process, right? Not everybody knows how
So
that
do you like
works.
fishing line up and over? Is that how you do it?
I do it with it's like clothesline,
Okay.
rope, cord, whatever you call that, and then I'll tie a small little hammer to the end of it and throw the hammer up over a branch, and then that's enough weight to pull the rope down, and then I can tie off and
Okay.
hoist it up. I'm getting a little bit better every year.
Good.
But it's always a little nerve-wracking to be out there with cars parking on the street for the parade and families walking by, and
Being
I'm just
judgmental of you throwing your
being
hammer.
judgmental, and I'm out there like a Christmas Thor, I guess, just throwing a hammer up into the air.
And hoping it doesn't land on you.
Hoping it doesn't land on me,
Yeah.
a kid, a car.
Yeah.
I don't know. But they're up now, and they look good.
You
Yeah.
want to come to my house now and do mine?
No.
Although we don't have any trees in our front yard anymore. We have a couple
No.
dogwoods.
Yeah.
But after the storm, ours got compromised and diseased, and so we took them down.
Somebody
over the
did
years.
ask me while I was putting it up where we get those Christmas balls.
Mm-hmm.
So if others are asking that question or know where to get them, please post it in the comments, because I didn't have a good answer. A lot of times the houses in Trent Woods or on Canterbury specifically, they will just leave the Christmas balls in the attic when they sell it. So when you buy the house, you inherit the Christmas balls.
Is that real?
Yep. That's how I got mine.
Wow.
Yep. So when somebody was asking, the only answer we had for them was
Buy a
buy
new
a house
house.
in Canterbury, which is a not the most economical way to get them.
No, but there are signs coming and going out of Trent Woods. It's a white sign that talks about those lights. So you can
Okay.
get those. Some people call them the crab pot lights. Some people call them chicken wire lights, or
Yeah.
whatever. So, but I've seen little white signs that have that information with
Okay.
a phone number. So
Very cool.
Or go to YouTube and go to
You'll
the
learn how
local
to make
Hearts.
it.
Yeah, go down to Ace
get you some
Hardware
chicken
and
wire and make it happen.
your own. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's good. Yeah, and I've seen them do them with oh gosh, what are those little the tomato stands? You know, where green bean stands,
Yeah.
and then they run lights around them and things like that. So I've
Make
seen-
it just a little tree that sits in the yard. Yeah.
Yes. So my yard is not decorated.
No.
My tree is still in the back porch, leaning in a Kiko Man 5-gallon bucket.
Fenton loves decorating for the holidays. I think it was Friday or Saturday where he just went up into the attic and started pulling them down on his own because, like I said, we'd been busy. So
Yeah.
So we came home and the house was half decorated. Just him on his own.
Well, yeah. So I want it to be a 2-man job, so I did what I could get my hands on. But to get to the lights, I put the stand out. I just need somebody to put it in, the tree. So, but yeah, we're live Christmas tree people.
Yeah.
I would go artificial, but I would get a revolt from my children. So, But there it's they're not
Because
the
of
ones
tradition?
putting it in. Yeah,
Yeah.
they like the smell. And in fact, when my daughter came back from Pinecone Perennial, she was talking about how wonderful it smelled. So she said, you kind of wish you could bottle that up and take that.
And,
So
well, can't they? Isn't that what Danny said when he was here talking about Barry Mary? Didn't he say that they actually are spraying Christmas tree smell
I think
into Bear
that's
Plaza?
what they're going to do next. Isn't that?
I thought he said they were doing it this year.
Oh, maybe. I guess I need to go and find out.
Yeah, yeah.
Along with the snow. Oh, that's right. Because then I said, well, they should do peppermint and cocoa next time. Like
Yeah, you were talking about next time.
aromatherapy.
Yeah.
Next time. Very good. Eli, are you trying to fix me still?
Yeah, now the cameras.
Oh, the camera went out, so you're not even on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Should I share the shot with you?
We got it.
Hi.
Yeah, yeah, there's
I
Megan.
know
Yeah,
this Christ, because he looks like a short minute.
yeah.
Oh, that's
So,
good.
but
We're back
so
on.
there are some things of the day that you would like to talk about. Is that right?
Is it? Are there? Yes.
Did I
you
use?
You looked very scared when I did. Really? No. Yeah, there is.
Did I misuse a word? Did I say
No.
something wrong?
Well, one of the things I didn't share.
Help me, Megan.
I'm helping you. You look stunned. One of the things I did not share with Zanetta that I learned this morning is that 30 years ago today, up to the day, but do you kind of remember where you were 30 years ago around this time of year? Think about it. Zanetta, you too. Zanetta, are you old enough?
I was in daycare, thank you.
Oh, shit, sorry. Okay. What about you? 30 years ago.
Let's see. I was probably at wrestling practice in high school.
Really?
Mhm.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, December
Of 92.
Yeah. I was 17, graduated in 93. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm a lot older than you. Not just 4 months, 4 years. So I was in Atlanta. I had graduated from from college. I had gone back home. I was waiting for. No, I wasn't waiting. I was waiting for my internship, but I had to work because it was an unpaid internship for 6 months, and I was coming back to North Carolina. So I was at my parents' in Atlanta, working like 3 jobs to get enough money so I could go back and do that. But this is the cool part. 30 years ago today was the first text message on a cell phone. Zanetta just looked at me crazy. It's true. 30 years ago, the first test run for a text message.
And what's the first text you ever sent?
No. What was the first text they sent?
No, well, okay. Do you know? What's the
Yes.
first? Okay, tell me. What's the first
Yes.
text? Oh, sup.
Merry Christmas.
Oh,
Nobody said sup 30 years ago.
they might have been ahead of their time.
They might have. Well, they were. They were texting.
Yeah. So
So,
Merry Christmas was
Merry
the first
Christmas
text.
was the very first text.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember the first text I sent.
Yeah. So you have to text.
I mean, I remember who it was to, but I don't remember. And the first the first phone call, mobile phone call, in my bag. I had a bag.
You had a back phone?
I had a bag phone. with the curly Q night. Well, first it had the hard, the antenna that was attached to the bag phone. Mm-hmm. Remember those?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it was about 8 inches long. And it was graduating black, kind of heavy plastic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had one of those in my my Corsica.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you had a back phone in your Corsica.
I did. I had a bag phone in
Very,
my Corsica.
very relatable experience
Yeah.
for me right now.
And my then boyfriend,
Uh-huh.
who is now my husband, got it for me because I was living in Jacksonville and he was in New Bern, and I would take that Island Creek Road from Jacksonville, and there was always critters out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I mean, like there was barn animals like sitting in the middle of the road, and one day I showed up and I didn't have a key to his place, and he felt really bad because he got stuck in a storm out fishing, and I was sitting on his front porch waiting for him. So he bought me a bag phone. That was a good boyfriend.
Well, what was he going to do, though? You were going to call him on the boat? How is he going to be able to come unlock
Well,
the door
that's
for
true.
you?
I don't know, but for standard
He was
emergencies.
just flexing.
He
just wanted to be
was
like, I've got a bag phone.
I got a bag phone for you. I did, but I had that bag phone. And I don't know. I don't think you could text on bag phones back then. I think it was just phone calls.
Eli, are you familiar with a bag phone at all?
Is that the like portable phone with the cord?
Kinda, yeah. It's a portable phone with a cord, yeah.
But it was in a little pouch, like a little zip bag.
Yeah, my dad does a lot of antiquing.
You talking about my bat phone being an antique?
So I've seen them. I've never
I thought it was big time when I got rid of the attached antenna, and he got me the hard one that with the pigtail curlicue that was magnetic on the back of the car.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And then it was in my Protege. I had a Mazda Protege by then. But yeah.
I'm very impressed.
Okay, so let's move forward. So even longer than that, let's talk about today. And it is kind of a somber day. It's the Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. So this was the first attack on the United States where they changed their position regarding their involvement in World War II. Japanese attack damaged several battleships, permanently sinking both the USS Arizona and the USS Oklahoma. Still others capsized, taking crew members with them. One noted ship, the USS Utah, along with other Navy vessels, the attack destroyed aircraft too. So it was, this was a time that this attack forced the U.S. into the war that had been already going on for 2 years. So
is that picture on screen, that's the memorial for the USS Arizona, right?
In Hawaii.
In Hawaii, yes.
Yes, in Pearl Harbor.
Yep.
So, so December 7th, 1941. And I'll give you a little some trivial too. So
have you been to that memorial?
I have not. I've never been to Hawaii.
Have you, Zanetta?
I haven't, but it was kind of cool when I lived in Iwakuni. The tower that they plan those attacks is still its headquarters on base, so I got to visit that, and the A-bomb memorial there.
Oh, really?
So it's neat to see their side of it. It's very somber.
Wow.
Do you know what year the U.S. Navy established the naval station at Pearl Harbor?
I do not.
1908. So, and do you know where the name Pearl Harbor comes from?
I also do not know that.
A variety of pearl oysters were once abundant in the harbor, and the Hawaiians named the harbor, and I'm going to probably mess up this name, but it's Waimomi, Waimomi. It's two different words, which means pearl waters. So, pretty cool. So, on a sticky note.
What do you mean on a sticky note?
Today happens to be National Cotton Candy Day.
Okay.
Not a sticky, like a Post-it note, but a sticky note.
Yeah, I didn't know where you were going with that.
It's sticky.
National Cotton Candy Day.
National Cotton Candy Day.
Are you a fan of cotton candy?
Okay, so you see how the little girl like pulls it off and then pinches it? But you see where the fingers pinch in? And then the second it hits the tongue and it dissolves, that's kind of a cool sensation. But then when it gets hard and flat. Yeah, when it gets sticky in the fingers and you try to consume it, it's like, it's like fingernails on a not a dartboard, fingernails on a chalkboard.
No, it's like fingernails on a dartboard. That's exactly what it is.
But the problem is nobody knows what a chalkboard is anymore, except for Zanetta, who has one in her house.
This kid's just like grabbing handfuls and just.
Well, they're obviously.
He's going deep in there.
Yeah, they're at the fair. You can see like the little game things in the back. I think when I took my kids to the circus for the first time, I didn't care about the acts and all that kind of stuff. I just want them to have that spun sugar on that cardboard cone. Just to have, I had cotton candy at the circus. I don't know. There's just something about that's just iconic about it.
So does cotton candy have a flavor? It's blue or it's pink?
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about cotton candy. Originally spun sugar, cotton candy is still a staple at carnivals, fairs, and the circus. While it is reminiscent of childhood days, Fairy Floss, which is also known, also reminds us of fluffy clouds. Since the heated sugar gets spun into strands of fine sugar and blown into fat poofs, twirled into paper sticks, I call them a cone, it's a bit like magic. We associate it with the magical occasions too: carnivals, fairs, and zoos, circus delight, nostalgic memories, bustling crowds, and the music of calliopes bring a smile to your face. Now,
they make that, I don't mean to interrupt, but yes. I do it anyway. They try to make it sound magical, but have you ever tried to use one of those home cotton candy making kits?
That sounds like a nightmare.
It takes away the magic, I'll tell you that. There's nothing sadder than somebody standing over a cotton candy maker machine like this big and one of those little paper cones, and they're just trying to make cotton candy, and they want it to be so good, and it's just like wet paper cone. That's what you get when it's done.
In this article that I read, it says it's very tricky.
Yeah,
it is. You got to get the temperature just right. So couple facts.
I say this, if you're a parent right now trying to think of
do not buy one
Christmas
for Christmas
ideas for your kids, don't get one of those.
Santa, do not bring it.
Yeah, just go buy it pre-made. Everybody will be happier.
Yeah, so here is a couple cotton candy facts back to your flavor and your color.
Do we have a graphic for cotton candy facts?
Cotton candy facts.
No, okay.
What is the most popular cotton candy color?
Blue.
No, it's pink, followed by blue.
Oh.
Yeah, but I can see why two boys would say blue. But
and
anyway.
what's the third option?
Yeah.
Is there another color?
I've seen them purple.
Yellow.
There is.
Yellow.
Okay.
I've seen them rainbowed.
All right.
Yeah.
Our guests are at the table now, and they have seen other colors, so I think it's time we bring them in and let them weigh in on the cotton candy debate.
But we're still going to talk about it, right? Okay, cool, because I got more in facts, and we got to talk about facts. But candy makers add a type of food coloring to achieve the pastel colors, so we can have all kinds of fun colors. What happens if you squeeze cotton candy? We already talked about it.
It gets hard
and crunchy.
And it molds around whatever squeeze that you've done to it.
Because cotton candy is made up of 80% air, squeezing it forces the air out, and the sugar molecules then become stuck together.
Oh. Well, now I'm thinking because it forms that way, I want to get some saran wrap and put it on my face and then press cotton candy into my face and make a mold out of cotton candy.
What is wrong with your head?
What's wrong with my head?
Yes.
Like what's inside or outside?
And then the wrapped in blue cotton candy. What is wrong with you?
You don't think that would be a fun thing to do?
No, but okay.
I went there.
Yeah,
I went there. Yeah,
yeah. Matt's gonna do it.
Oh my
I
goodness!
didn't say I'd do it, but I went there mentally.
Yeah.
That's odd.
They have less sticky products you could do that with if you.
Well, he's putting saran wrap on his face, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want all the sugar molecules to get pressed into my skin, but I would be curious to see, like, Megan's so done with me already. How many minutes did it take? 27 before Megan was done.
No, I'm just reading ahead. So, is there any use? Can you use any kind of sugar to make cotton candy? Anybody?
Matt, Hadley?
Well, know from the state fair that you can use honey and like maple sugar and those sorts of things.
Oh.
So,
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, according to this, it says cotton candy sugar can be made from granular sugar. However, several brands make flavored sugars and syrups specifically from cotton candy, which is kind of cool. So, this is really kind of funny. Guess who invented it? What do you think his profession was?
Oh, I know this. It was a dentist, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, a dentist went with
Just
Nice.
securing the income.
I know.
Yeah.
A dentist,
Sound effect, ding ding.
Yeah. He partnered up with a confectioner, a guy who makes candy. And
Thank you.
I just checked to make sure you know what that was. To develop this, he called it a sponge sugar candy. He filed the patent under the name Candy Machine. And that's pretty cool. 1887. So, and then he didn't get his patent number until the 1890s. And he was at the exposition in St. Louis, which was the world's largest fair. They had over 70,000 exhibits.
So, and the inventor's name, did you say, just for anybody?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, let's give the man credit.
William James Morrison partnered with John C. Wharton. Wharton was the confectioner.
All right.
The dentist was Dr. Morrison.
And do you think he did it to get repeat business?
No, they actually sold it to be a lighter, easier on the
teeth?
Yes.
Okay.
That's how they sold it. They thought the purity was more healthy, and because it was clean ingredients.
They were slinging around a lot of claims in
It
medicine.
was the 1800s.
late
They didn't quite
1800s.
have. They didn't have fluoride. There's
Yeah.
a lot of things that they didn't have yet.
Yeah.
So,
Cotton candy, dentist recommended.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one of the things is there's actually a Guinness Book of World Record category. And so I clicked on it to see there was a lady in Austin this past April who broke the record for the largest cotton candy sculpture. And she did a blue and pink bunny. And underneath the bunny, like in the bunny's eyes and nose and all that kind of stuff, and underneath the paws and the tail, they were all pink. And I swear it looked like pink insulation. But they had 5 or 6 different cotton candy spinners over there, like machines.
Yep.
So, and I want to say she had to, of course, weigh her sugar first, because then that would equate to how much. And I think it had to be over like 33.7 pounds. That's a lot of cotton candy. Cotton candy don't weigh that much, right? Because it's 70% air. Well, she ended up exceeding that. And so she was just under, and then they came back and checked, and she was able to spin a little bit more. And I think there was a timing, too. But it was a big, giant, floppy-eared bunny. There's a YouTube video. It's about 10 minutes long. Yes, I watched the whole thing.
All right, we'll have to post a link to that in the comments so everybody can
the
watch
cotton
that.
candy bunny. Yeah, that was 10 minutes I cannot gain back in my life. But apparently you can subscribe to her. She does, like, she got the candy, what are those, conversation hearts? What are they? Hadley, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
The little nasty tasting Valentines. Yeah. She ordered, I can't remember how many thousands of them, and she had bags and bags and bags, and she was going to do art with it. And I went, oh, Megan, you've got better things to do with your life. And I was like, I'll come back to you.
That's for the doom scrolling on the weekend.
Yes, yes. And now, because I've said it in front of my phone, it'll probably pop up all the time, whether I'm subscribed or not, right?
Exactly.
So, have that happened with your somebody coming up and talking to you about like what they want for Christmas?
And then I start getting ads for it?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. This is not news anymore.
I know, but it's creepy.
Yes.
Like,
it
I
is.
screenshotted a Doc Martin ad that popped up on my Facebook, because literally like 12 hours before, Michaela said, hey, Mom, I really like this cool messenger bag from Doc Martin. Doc Martens haven't been mentioned in my house in years. I mean, like, my oldest wears them, but I was like, this is so crazy. Last year it was leggings, flare leggings. And all of a sudden, every ad that popped up, it was leggings. It's creepy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they did tell you in the terms and conditions, if you read them.
My Privacy Act.
Yeah.
I have none.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's like, did you hear on the news this morning about the 2 ladies that are suing Apple? Did you hear about this, Hadley?
I feel like I started to
So-
see this.
Those little tags, that little Apple tags. So their exes were using them to stalk people. Now,
Of course they were.
I don't
That
have
was
an
like
Apple
the
tag.
second thing it was used for, I'm sure.
Yeah, but it popped up on her phone. She was actually so creeped out by the stalker that, and then she pulled it up, and it was actually in her, like her stuff she was moving.
Yeah.
Like she didn't realize that he had stashed it or hid
Yeah.
it or something. So,
People are creepy with the location stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of people that are creepy, I watched these 2 people coming across campus with this headless person that happens to be behind us,
It's
who they keep
strange what you'll
referring.
do in museum work.
Yeah, and they keep referring to it with a pronoun. So I'm like, so let's do a formal introduction of our guests, which have been wonderful.
Yes.
Following along
Welcome to
with
the show and our
rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Welcome to the rabbit hole.
Literal rabbit hole made of cotton candy, right?
Yeah,
Tumbling
with a
down
giant
we go.
37-pound rabbit.
Yes. So joining us today, we've got some folks from Tryon Palace. We got Matt Author, who is our living history coordinator, right? And we got Hadley Cheris, who is our greenhouse gardens manager.
Yes.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I know y'all always have lots of fun things going on at Tryon Palace, but this time of year is a particularly busy time for you, right?
That's an understatement.
Yes, because people love to come to the palace for the holidays and the Christmas celebrations, from when you start decorating right after Thanksgiving on through with the tours, and then, of course, candlelight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a wild one this year. I haven't figured out the end result of this, but convinced everyone that we need to do 30 days of holiday happenings, starting from when decor went up.
So you got a
So-
happening every day?
Yeah, from
Okay.
November 19th through December 17th.
All right,
We've
I'm
got
going to see
something every day.
how well you're keeping up. What's today's day? What's the thing today?
Oh, I already did it.
Oh, okay.
So
What was
I had a palace decor tour before I came here.
Okay, nice.
So we've got our Lesser Stairs tour tomorrow. We do our Traditions tour on Friday. First candlelight on Saturday. Puppet show on Sunday, and then so on and so forth.
Wow.
So
That's a lot.
It is.
I thought we were busy.
Yeah, but I mean, but you have to keep offering those things so people are able to experience the palace in different ways, right?
Exactly.
And different timetables and whatever.
That was my justification. We were already doing like 24 days of holiday happy. And I'm like,
Yeah.
can we get to 30, everyone? And you're like,
Well, plus,
fine.
Are
You
these
have-
all? I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going. You have those decorations everywhere for just over a month, so you
Yeah.
might as well try and find ways to get people to come them and see them every
Exactly.
day, other than just candlelight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And are these all ticketed events? Are these open to the public? How does that work?
A little bit of both. Some of them are ticketed. Some of the new ones this year, like the puppet shows, the open dance rehearsal that we did last weekend, are free to the public. But a fair amount of them are going to be ticketed, especially once they go into the buildings. Then we got to get the state their money. So
That's right.
Well, we want to have another 30 days of celebration
Yeah.
next year. So that's the only way we can do it, right?
Definitely.
yeah.
So, you said museum curator? That's your official?
With the state, yeah. So I do. I oversee the living history aspects of the museum. I work in the education department, and so the tour guides, docents, we call them interpreters because the past is a foreign country, and we have to tell you what happened back then. That's all my baby. Food and those sorts of things. So when like the tour that Hadley and I do for holiday traditions, we go through. She talks about all the pretty stuff we've hung up. I talk about the raucous parties that they had in the past and all the food and booze that we drink.
So, Matt, when we sat down, we were like, I know I've met you before, but you've been with the palace for a while. Right?
15 years.
Okay, so, and please don't be offended. I remember you as a young person without facial hair wearing the little colonial cap.
That would be me. Yes.
Okay, I'm so glad I recognized you. Okay, 15 years, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Were you using a bag phone still? No, I'm kidding.
It was a colonial back
The
phone.
colonial
Yeah, it was a
capital. That was, what are they, carrier pigeons?
Yeah.
I had those.
Well, we do have the dovecot.
Yes, but that's for eating, not
Yeah,
for
this is true.
messaging. So
But
Well, that's awesome.
you're
I'm
very
sorry.
busy with living history programs this time of year, particularly with Candlelight, right? So for people who don't know what Candlelight is, let's give them sort of the broad strokes.
Candlelight is if you want a smorgasbord, a tasting menu of the palace with a little extra pizzazz thrown in. It's what the program that you need to come to. So during the course of the evening, we'll take you through the palace and the kitchen. It's going to be lit by candles, fake candles, because the palace burned down once before and we won't want to do that again.
No copycats.
But we'll have actors in there portraying people from the past, and we have a storyline that goes through those two rooms. In the Stanley and the Dixon houses, we have them decorated so that you can kind of come through and see all of them in their holiday splendor. We will have our reenactment troupe for the 1st North Carolina Regiment of the Continental Line.
Say that 3 times.
I know.
No, I won't make you.
Good, because I never can say it the same way twice.
Oh, okay.
But they'll have their camp there. We'll have a performance tent with the PB&J Circus, and they'll do fire eating and sword swallowing and bed of nails and a whole bunch of other things. They'll be there both weeks. The first week we'll have Taylor Martin, who does 18th century magic, and the second week we'll have Gravity Check, who's a juggling act.
Okay.
So
I have to ask, 18th century magic versus modern day magic?
well.
just-
Taylor, as Rodney the Younger, is very gifted in the fact that he's a student of magic history because there's a history for pretty much everything, and so
As we
a lot
know.
of Taylor does all sorts of illusions, but a lot of the ones that he will do during the night are more 18th century based and have actual documentation for being done back then.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, because they weren't making the Statue of Liberty disappear back then. They were doing other
Or-
magic tricks.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
What are those plastic boxes and with no air or something? I mean, I guess Houdini did kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, but so it's very specific to the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That period.
and that's really when people go to the palace outside of Candlelight, all that's not going on, right? It's I mean, it's still very beautiful. It's during the day, but when it's at night, there's this. It's a lot more alive and
We want you to feel like you've stepped back in time.
yeah. And I think it does help because it is at night that you can feel like you've stepped back in time a bit because everything else around you kind of disappears and you're really kind of enclosed in on that property. Yeah. Megan, have you ever been?
I have. I have. And I like the daytime stuff too. I mean, when they have the metalsmiths out there and what do you call them?
Blacksmiths.
Blacksmiths. When you have the blacksmiths out there, and I can't remember the name of the house, but if I'm looking at the palace, the next street over, the white one.
Oh, the Hay House.
Okay. I remember going in the Hay House, and my girls and I did the cloves and the oranges to do decorations. And then, of course, I don't think we got to bring them home. I think we were doing them to, like, leave them there or whatever. But on the way home, we had to stop and get oranges and fresh cloves. Have you ever done that before?
Yeah.
That's fun. And of course, they like those to the steam pots, you know. So we got all those, But it's been, I like it.
And I assume you were doing some of that, getting volunteers to help decorate as well, right? Did you do any of that or no?
No.
No? Okay.
No, we have gone completely, totally faux fruit at the palace.
Gotcha.
We lived a hard life a couple of years ago, accidentally.
The sangria Christmas.
Yeah, our decor stays up for 6 weeks, and by week 2, the palace is a warm building compared to what we may think. And by week 2,
kind of like the studio is right now.
Yeah. So imagine leaving 6 or 7 pineapples in here for 6 weeks. It made a very strong sangria smell.
Yeah. And brings in the fruit flies too.
Yeah, we had to vacuum the fruit flies out, and we said, we're done.
Yeah.
So we go faux now.
Yeah. They look good. I was there on Saturday, and I saw some fruit on the gate, and I had to go up and actually touch it to make sure.
That's my point. If I can
You
get you
tap test? Tap
Yeah.
test?
I did do the tap test.
if I get you close enough to touch, I've succeeded. So
And that helps too because we don't have the squirrels coming to eat all the decorations. I remember I started working at the palace right before all the candlelight explosion happened, and I remember walking by from having to do some training, and there was a squirrel that was latched on to an apple like mid-bite, but then I scared him, and this was like on the front gates, and we had this like stare down, and I was like, do I just let this go? Do I tell someone? Do I attack? I don't know.
It's a squirrel.
You could see the squirrel. Squirrels are vicious when it comes to all of our decor.
Yeah,
and the
they
decor,
are.
it's a lot of work.
yeah.
So it was one of those things of what do we do with this? And then you can see the squirrel was questioning all of its life choices as well. And so eventually I managed to scare him off, but he came back and it pockmarked apples all over God's creation.
Yeah. Our state mammal's a pest. So we reduced from that point.
Yeah.
So
I think
makes
it's
life
probably a
easier.
smart choice.
Was it this past summer that Stephen Ward that was doing the drone saw the fox? Was that this past summer?
I mean,
Potentially, we've seen the fox a couple of times this year. We used to have a bigger bunch who lived on site, but we've only seen a couple lately. So
we had a couple of litters of kits that were born on site and that sort of thing.
The squirrel population was better then, but
Yeah.
I love I know that people gets frightened by fox and that kind of stuff, but they keep the pests down.
People also want to pet them.
Oh no, we don't
Get
want to
close
pet
to
them.
Oh, I know.
No.
I know that.
But I had
that was the worst part when we had fox kits on site because they had their litters in staff areas, so we saw them every day, and it was like, I've gone down the rabbit trail on YouTube of how many generations does it take to domesticate a fox? And it's like, nope, don't
Not
do
many.
this. This is illegal in North Carolina. Don't do this.
Yes.
Don't do this. Just watch from a distance.
Yeah.
So,
But it is fun to watch them play
They're
because I've
so
had them.
cute.
We had a culvert in front of our house. It's not there anymore, and they used to nest in there every year, and just seeing all the babies and running
Yeah.
around. But the funny, I think I might have mentioned this before on the podcast, is they used behind our front bushes in front of our bedroom window. It was like their refrigerator.
Yeah.
So whatever if it was a bird or a squirrel or whatever they found, they stashed it in that spot. They wouldn't stash food in their den.
yeah.
And that was really kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like you using my window. It was like your kitchen.
Oh, they did that across, and then they would offer little offerings up. So when I first started, they would leave bits of stuff around the garden every day as like hey, I visited overnight, and it's like, okay, well, that's one less squirrel or rabbit that I have to deal with today, so that's fine.
Just got to get them cleaned up before the school groups come.
Yeah. And you got to make sure they're not taking your stuff because they used to steal my gloves.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Go ahead. You were going to say
Well,
something.
I see that y'all brought in a dress, and
did.
you brought in a headless body that scared
Yes.
Megan in the parking lot.
I did. I have to double take. I'm
I
like,
feel
what are
as
they
though we should
bringing?
not let too much time pass before we address the dress,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about the form in the dress that you have over there.
So this dress, if you come to Candlelight, you'll actually see on a person with a head
Yeah.
I offered.
dancing.
But they said no.
But, so this is the
That's so
this is
pretty.
the dress that we're going to have one of our actresses, who's one of our dancers, who's going to portray Princess Sophia Carolina Matilda, the estranged younger sister of Queen Charlotte, allegedly. But it's actually inspired by a actual dress that Queen Charlotte was seen wearing in a painting. And so our costumer, Leslie Lambrecht, she's amazing and was able to kind of look at a painting and create a whole dress off of that.
It looks just like something you would
Beautiful.
see from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to walk over there and Vanna White this dress while Matt explains the different pieces?
You talking
No.
to me?
Yeah.
No. Oh, I don't know anything about it. No, I do. I am curious though about the brooch
Okay.
that's hanging. Is that a portrait of herself or of her mother? Who? I mean,
It's actually a miniature of Queen Charlotte.
okay.
So this was, and I'll talk about the dress and we can come back and talk
Okay.
a little bit more about the historic person that it's
of it?
representing. Yeah. But so it's supposed to actually be a miniature of her sister, Queen Charlotte.
Okay.
In the period, it's very common to wear a token of a loved one, whether that's a family member or your sweetie.
Is that dead or alive or both?
Yeah, why not both?
Okay.
Maybe not at the same time. But
Lock of her hair.
one of
I know they did that. I
well,
know they
yeah.
did that.
Once you get to the Victorian era, we get into the hair jewelry. The thing that was a really big thing during this time period was something called the lover's eye or the god's eye, and so it may be just like a brooch that has a painting that's an extreme close-up of an eye of your dear one. So, but this is actually a miniature of Queen Charlotte.
That's really pretty. That lace is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I can't remember how many yards are used in it, but
It's wild. And Leslie has actually fully redone. She adjusted the entirety of the color palette of this dress this year. We've done the princess one time before, but it was a crowd favorite, so people have been begging us every year since, bring back the princess. But we got a new princess who had to be in the dress, so we changed the color palette on it completely. But
That's awesome.
it's a gorgeous dress.
And are the dancers? I know just because I've known some of them throughout the years, and I know that it's a big deal, and they're just really quite beautiful. And then they have the wigs, and again, time period and stuff. So that's all still
That's-
commonplace.
This is period dancing. If you've ever seen a Jane Austen movie, you know the kind of dancing that we're talking about. The guys lined up on one side, the ladies lined up on the other. Craig and I have actually both done this before in the past.
We have.
Is
that why you were looking at me like that?
For you to reminisce.
One of us is better than the other. We'll go ahead and admit that as well.
That's why he's been there 15 years
That's
and you're
right,
not.
yeah.
And actually, this is my 15th year of Candlelight, or in a row. But when I was in high school, like every high school junior wants to. I actually volunteered as a dancer then, so this is actually my 16th Candlelight. But yeah, I was a high school junior learning how to do all the period dancing and all of that sort of thing. We've kept it up ever since. I mean,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This will be the first year, though, since 2019 that the dancers are back because of all of the fun pandemic world.
Oh, wow.
We had to actually pause that for a couple of years.
That's
so
too
we're
bad.
really
I'm glad that's back,
excited
yeah.
to have
So,
the dancers
very-
back.
That's one of the most impressive parts of the living history.
And that was
of
our,
that
like,
night, yeah.
in January, we were like, all right, everyone sign on the dotted line. We can have the dancers. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, we don't want to sign on the sign on the dotted line.
She's a
So,
planner.
Yes.
She wasn't.
Yes.
she
You
wasn't
have to be.
writing.
That
You
I mean,
plan.
that is the thing with Candlelight
Yeah.
is you get basically January to relax, sort of, and then you're planning.
Hadley.
from then on. Yeah.
I'm holding his feet to the fire, and I want to figure out what our theme is for next year and before next week.
So each candlelight has a certain theme.
Yes.
So yeah, between decorations and things like that, all the decor in the palace has a general theme, but then there's a storyline that goes through the palace and the kitchen, every year. So that's why we were mentioning the alleged sister of Queen Charlotte. This is a historic event that we know happened. So in the 18th century, if you are
you're not giving it away, are you?
we've all basically...
Okay, I just want to make sure.
No,
I mean, we don't,
no. You'll get it from
Plot
the
spoiler.
other perspective.
Okay.
So, yes.
I'll give you the modern retrospective, and you'll
Okay.
get the living in the moment when
Okay.
you come to Candlelight.
All right.
But in the 18th century, when you are in England and you commit even something as, I know it's happened for as little as stealing a loaf of bread, you could be sentenced to transportation. And that means they put you on a ship, they send you all the way over here to the colonies, and you're not allowed to ever step foot back on England's soil again. If so, they'll kill you, and here your services for 7 years are sold as an indentured servant to the highest bidder. And there was a young lady from the period who had that happen.
Why are you looking at me? I've never stolen a loaf of bread.
I mean, it'd be very Jean Valjean of you, but
We were actually talking about crime shows before you came on,
Oh.
and he looked at me, and I think Eli asked me something about having ever made a crime. I'm like, I don't even have a speeding ticket. So kind of a goody two shoe, but
well, then you wouldn't have to worry about this.
I'm not going to worry about it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm gonna stay put. I'm gonna stay put.
Well, we know that there was a young lady named Sarah Wilson who had this happen. And she got over here and decided that being an indentured servant was not really her gig.
Yeah.
And so she decided to take off on her own. She managed to secure a very fine dress. Did herself
stole it.
up. We know that, yeah. Would not have been a surprise at all. In fact, a couple of the stories suggest, we know she worked in some upper class houses, but the stories at the time said that she had actually been working for one of the ladies in waiting for Queen Charlotte. Even back then, the news sometimes decides to go for the tabloids, and that was what was happening then. But so not quite as fancy as that. But she did still a dress. She takes on this whole persona as Queen Charlotte's younger sister.
So this is a plot spoiler.
No.
I'm just kidding. I
It's
didn't
a
know
good
that's where you were going.
Yeah.
Did you know
It's
that's
also
where he was
just
going?
yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'm surprised. So I'm sorry. Keep
No,
going.
you're good. You're good.
I interrupted.
But so she goes around, and what's funny is Queen Charlotte does have sisters. They're all older. But everyone here in the colonies is so desperate to make a good impression that she's able to do this grand royal tour, always keeping a few steps ahead of the man who's purchased her service. And she's making promises of, you're going to be a peer, I'm going to give you land, and all this other stuff when you help me.
If you just help me for right now, when I get back in good graces, I'll have your back then.
He's a manipulator.
And brilliant at it.
Wow.
The first history book for North Carolina mentions the fact that she came here and that Governor Martin threw a ball for her, and so that's what we're recreating.
You just keep looking at me like, yeah, I already know this. I'm like, I'm shocked.
No, it's a very
I'm gonna be
interesting
in the
story.
know now.
That's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the know.
Yeah.
And
What was
it's-
the name of that guy that pretended to be like a pilot and
A lot of people earlier
DiCaprio did
this
that.
year-
What was that show?
Frank Abagnale?
Yes.
Yeah,
Something
so
like
she
that.
was like the early version of him.
Well,
Well,
and it got compared
they're-
this year with the Netflix shows to Inventing Anna.
Anna Sorokin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
the lady in New York.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
That was an heiress, but she
Yes.
wasn't.
Yep.
Yes.
There are a lot of overlaps between those two stories. Wow. So.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So you can go see it for yourself.
I am.
Yeah. Get to hear their perspective on what's happening throughout this whole thing. So
Gotcha. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. And I assume you hear other people talking about the princess.
I mean,
and- yeah.
she's all the rage. There was never a royal visit of the king or queen in all the time that we were the colonies. So the fact that we've got a royal who is here, folks, I mean, everybody's talking about it. So, and let's face it, we like gossip in the 18th century just as much as we like it today.
ooh,
So
we do indeed.
Nice.
And put something in print.
So Candlelight starts this Saturday,
This
right?
Saturday.
So assuming there are still tickets to get?
There
Yeah.
are still
Just a few.
130 tickets left.
Okay,
I
so
double checked before we got in here.
so if anybody wants to come, what
Yes.
should they do?
You can go to our ticket desk at the History Center on South Front Street, or you can go, I believe they're still online for the next day or so. And order them there and come see us on Saturday.
Awesome.
So,
And is this year, are you having fireworks this year or no?
fingers crossed.
Weather
Okay.
permitting.
Weather
Oh,
and
so
fire.
weather. Okay, yeah.
Weather and fire marshal permitting.
Okay.
Yep.
What about the parade thing? The
John Canoe?
yes.
Yes.
Yep. John Canoe and Fife and Drum are
Okay.
both performing off and on throughout the evening. They'll be
On
performing.
Saturday night.
Yep.
Okay.
Um,
I
Saturdays.
love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both.
I didn't want to say it because I was going to say it wrong, but
Yep.
John Canoe.
Yep.
Okay.
Both this Saturday and again next Saturday for the second Candlelight.
I think the first time I saw it was when they actually stopped traffic, and I was stuck in traffic.
Mhm.
And that was the first
Yeah.
time I saw it.
But
It's
now
very
they
cool.
just close the street unless something's
Yes.
changed.
Yep.
Yeah, they
Now
close
they
the street in
do.
front of the palace. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this was a while ago.
Yeah. You got on your bag phone.
I
You
got
said,
my
you won't
bag
believe what's
phone.
happening right now.
My first text.
Yeah. So I know we're at the end of our time here. So is there anything else about Candlelight or what's going on at the palace that you would like for folks to know about?
I just say come out and join us. There's a lot of really fun stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the biggest thing is a lot of people don't realize that we changed the theme of Candlelight
I
each
didn't.
year. So if you've seen it once, you can still see it again.
And so we've got it up on the screen just so we
Yes.
can clarify that. That's this
Yes.
weekend and next Saturday, 4:30 to 9:30. When you get your tickets, assuming you get a time for when you'll be in the palace, but you can
Yep.
be there that whole
Yeah, you can
Yep.
be
The
there
whole span
whole
of that,
duration
yeah.
of it. There's plenty of stuff to do.
And how much are tickets? I'm seeing that the discounts
Tickets
are
are
gone.
$25 for
Okay.
adults, and I'm
Yeah.
not going to remember what the youth price is, so I won't misquote that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So tryonpalace.org/candlelight.
Very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Yes.
fun. It's a great family event.
It is.
And you can find things to do throughout the entire span of
Yeah.
that if you're trying to catch
We
the
survived with a toddler there last
Yeah.
year, and he was entertained the
Yeah,
entire time.
yeah.
So that's a near miracle.
Yeah. Very good.
Yes.
So
We got
we're
some other stuff to talk about. That.
yes, we're nearing the end of our time, so we just need to talk about a couple of the community events going on.
And you guys, please stick around. You might be able to chime something in that you know. All right.
All
Are
right,
we just doing the highlighted things?
No, we're doing every.
Oh, this was. They
That was-
highlighted what I'm going to be saying. I gotcha. Somebody
Oh,
was
that makes
clever.
sense now.
Was that an Eli thing?
Holiday nights.
Oh, this is an Etta thing.
Thursday night, 6 to 8 p.m. Hey,
Can you
Thursday,
sing
that's
Holiday
tomorrow.
Nights? Can you sing? Isn't
You
there-
know I can't sing.
Isn't there a song Holiday Nights?
Sing it then.
I can't think
Okay.
of it. I just popped in my
Experience
head.
a small town Christmas in downtown New Bern while eating and shopping local. Businesses will extend their shopping hours until 8 p.m. on these nights. Plus, Santa will be in Bear Plaza from 4 to 8 p.m. and it will be snowing from 6 to 8. Enjoy live music in Bear Plaza, ice skating in Union Point Park. Anybody done that yet?
No, but
Yeah,
that
me
looks
neither.
fun.
I haven't had time. Introducing our Berry Merry Scavenger Hunt during the holiday nights from 5 to 8 p.m. Check the weekly clue in Bear Plaza and hunt for the Golden Bernie for prizes from local businesses. Check out berrymerryevents.com for more information and for all of the holiday happenings in New Bern this season.
Are the live windows this weekend, or is that
Yes,
next?
yeah, and
Is that on
it's
here?
coming.
Oh, it's coming. I got it.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. Discovering Tryon Palace Holiday Home Tours. Friday, December 9th, 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. Join us on a tour of the Stanley, Dixon, and Commission houses focused on the decorations and traditions of Christmas past. Visitors will tour on the first floor of the Stanley, Dixon, and Commission houses, learning about holiday traditions in the last 300 years and the special items used in the decoration. Kind of like my oranges and cloves. Space is limited on each tour and flash photography is prohibited. Tours may involve walking and climbing stairs. Tickets do not include additional interior tours, but do include access to the Tryon Palace Gardens. Tickets can be purchased at the tryonpalace.org at the ticket desk located in the Way Station or the North Carolina History Center. Tickets must be purchased before 10:30 a.m. You have to meet at the Way Station across from the front gates at 10:30 for the beginning of the tour. And that's what you did this morning.
No,
No.
mine was the Palace tour.
Oh, okay.
This is the tour that we'll both do together.
Okay, fun. Okay, perfect. So you get to see Hadley and Matt again.
Yeah.
Art Walk, Friday. Art Walk!
Rock.
Is that what I sound like?
Yes.
Friday, December 9th from 5 to 8 p.m. Art Walk is a free self-guided walk to over 30 stops in downtown New Bern areas to visit stores and galleries and see everything New Bern has to offer. This art walk, it's an aardvark art walk.
There you go.
Smell what's happening. No, features an opening reception for 30 Years Later in the main gallery and a reception for Deborah Sidboy's exhibitions in the Director's Gallery and the Bank of the Arts on Middle Street. To learn more about exhibits and artist features, visit cravenarts.org.
30 years later. Isn't that kind of fun that it came back around since we were just talking about the first text message 30 years ago?
What happened? Time.
You have to go to it to find out what happened.
Okay.
All right. Live window displays. Woohoo! I'm there.
Wait, is that happening this weekend?
Yes, it is. It's highlighted. Zanetta did it for me. Friday, December 9th from 6 to 8 p.m. Downtown shops participate in this annual event to have their self-made live window displays for visitors and residents to stroll through the historic district and view. Windows will be judged and a trophy award will be to the winner. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, you see the photo up there? That looks fun.
It does. Some of them are heartwarming.
Is that Elphus? Is that what that is? Is that a pun?
That's cute. Yeah.
Elphus.
Elphus.
Oh. Speaking of Elf the Musical. Friday, December 9th and Saturday, December 10th at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday, December 11th at 3 p.m. Elf the Musical is a hilarious tale of Buddy, a young orphan child who mistakenly crawls into Santa's bag of gifts and is transported back to the North Pole. Unaware that he is actually human, Buddy's enormous size and poor toy-making abilities cause him to face the truth. With Santa's permission, Buddy embarks on a journey to New York City to find his birth father, discover his true identity, and help New York remember the true meaning of Christmas. This modern-day Christmas classic is sure to make everyone embrace their inner elf. Tickets on sale now and purchased at rivertownplayers.org.
So who's playing Buddy the Elf, this enormous elf?
I don't know. I've seen some photos.
It's not George.
I didn't recognize him. No.
George would make a good Buddy the Elf.
He has a Buddy the Elf costume. That
of course he does.
Last year at New Bern Civic Theater, we had some movies that we showed, and one of them was Elf. And so he, to make it a fully immersive experience for everybody, he put on a costume, the Buddy the Elf costume.
Yes.
And then he drank 2 liters of soda, like right there, whole thing, nonstop.
Did he belch afterwards?
Yes.
Okay. You all right, Zanetta?
I think my camera's not working or something's not working.
Oh, okay. My
But
turn.
anyway, yeah, go ahead.
So, Havelock Christmas Parade is this Saturday, December 10th from 10 a.m. to noon. Enjoy the Havelock Christmas Parade. This year's theme is Hometown Christmas. The parade enters Highway 70 at North Shepherd Street and will proceed westbound to Cunningham Boulevard. And last night we had our tree lighting and our encore choir from Craven Community College. They came down to the Havelock campus and Santa came, and it was really heartwarming. It was very, very lovely. We had a lot of it was a good turnout. Zanetta was there. I know she took pictures and video, and she'll probably post some later. But it was neat. You could take pictures with Santa, and they had cookies and cocoa afterwards. And I saw this one young boy. He was probably I would guess probably 10 or 11 years old, and he had a little note all wrapped up and folded in half, and he goes up and pulls on Santa, and he's like right in front of me, and he pulls on Santa's jacket, and Santa's giving out candy canes, and he goes, "I want you to have this," and it was his letter to Santa.
Oh,
And
that's
it was
so sweet.
and then Santa called Mom and Dad over, and he unwrapped the letter, and he read it, and he says, "You know what are you doing for Mom and Dad?" And, he was talking about, like, again, the spirit of Christmas. And he said, "I want you to keep this. I now know what you want." And the little boy starts crying, and the mom looks at the husband and says, "He's crying." And the little boy says, "They're tears of joy." I was like, I'm going to die right here. It was so beautiful. I was like, I'm so glad I see
You had all the Christmas magic happening.
It did. And literally, so this choir was singing "Here Comes Santa Claus." And they had, not to blow the magic, but the magic, the lights were set to go off or go on exactly at 5:25, I don't know, something like that, 5:35, whatever it was. And then, because it was from 5:15 to 6:15, so it was 5:25, the lights were supposed to come on. Well, they were still singing, and they didn't want to flip the switch, but then all of a sudden Santa comes in and ho-ho-hos, and the lights turn on. And it was like perfect while they were still singing. It was great. So anyway, I'm sorry. Rabbit hole. But
It sounds magical.
It was beautiful.
I'm sorry I missed it.
And Sylvia King and Eric Sexton and Fred Bell, who put up all the decorations, they did a great job organizing. And I know Russ Boyce was even helping put up some of the big blow up. We have a helicopter and an airplane that's got Santa's like toys delivery stuff in front of the aviation building. It's very cute. So
I love it.
yeah. All right. Sorry.
That's okay.
Your turn.
That's good.
Are we going to do all of that?
No.
Okay.
Because we've talked
did
about
that.
Candlelight a good bit. The main thing is that we know that it is opening this Saturday, December 10th at 4:30 p.m. Tickets are available online at tryonpalace.org, at the ticket desk, or by calling 252-639-3524. Candlelight is a rain or shine event, but fireworks may be canceled due to extreme weather conditions. So I think what we've all learned is it's an awesome, fun, good time, right?
Yes.
Fun for the family, fun for history, fun for just walking around and having something to do. And it really is one of those great like family memories to make too. And beautiful costumes, of
Beautiful
course, that we've
costumes
seen
and
too.
dancing, and it'll smell good and all that fun stuff. Yes. All right, you done with that one?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, cool. And the last thing I got on the list is an elf comes to Tryon Palace. So go to Candlelight Saturday night and then come back Sunday from 2 to 3. And on the 11th, Tryon Palace is delighted to present Newbern Puppets and their show, quote unquote, An Elf Comes to Tryon Palace. It's a story about a mysterious stranger who visits Newbern to discover how colonial North Carolina celebrates Christmas. The newcomer meets young Margaret Tryon and the royal governor's daughter. Dismayed to hear how meager the holiday celebrations are, the newcomer appeals to Father Christmas to spread a bit of winter magic for the Tryons and the residents of Newbern. Adults and children alike will be charmed by this holiday tale, followed by a show of puppeteers will emerge to demonstrate a marionette question and answer opportunity and allow members of the audience to peek at the scenery. Very cool. Have you ever gone to a marionette museum before?
I have not.
There's a puppet museum in Atlanta, just around the corner from the Fox.
Yes, I have heard of the Puppet Museum in Atlanta. Yes.
And you can go in and tour, and then you can go and stay for a show. And it's a small little amphitheater style theater. It's and very, very close and charming. If you have an opportunity to go to Atlanta, I highly recommend that.
All
It's
right.
very cool, and you can see the years of stuff. And my kids were little, and the puppeteers were so gracious, got to come up like you're going to have next Sunday,
Yeah.
and just show them how the strings work and touch the costume and see how the facial structure and it's beautiful. It's like that's magical too. So when you see a
Matt,
kid's face go,
are you doing the puppets or is
No,
somebody
no,
else?
no. There is a company called Newbern Puppets.
Okay.
is that a
And
thing? I didn't know that.
it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a
Wow.
thing. He's
It
a
is.
professional marionette
Oh,
artist.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
We need to have a marionette on here.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That
We
would be
need,
a
we
lot
need to
of
have
fun.
marionettes of us. We'll see if we can get our like us 3D printed, and then we can just do the show as marionettes for when we can't be here,
I
right?
would
We'll
love
just
to
voice it
see
over.
what my puppet looks like.
Yeah, it could be fun.
I mean, we know what my Bitmoji looks like. What would my
Yes.
puppet look
Yes.
like?
Megan's a big fan of the Bitmoji. She
Yeah.
includes it in every text she sends. Yeah. If Megan had been there when the first text would have been sent, it wouldn't
would
have
have
been
been a
Merry
Bitmoji.
Christmas. It would have been a Bitmoji. That's a fact.
Yeah. But I
That's
just
a text fact.
I
Right.
just do it to
Yeah.
bug them because there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
All right.
So I know we've gone over time, so we probably need to wrap it up.
But there's so much good stuff today.
That's a good thing.
It is.
One thing to note for anybody who is thinking about coming to Craven in the spring, we are enrolling now. If you're wanting to see what our deadlines are, what programs you want to do, the easiest thing to do is just come down and talk to one of our advisors, and they can help you find financial aid opportunities, scholarships, and the program that's right for you.
Absolutely.
Now is a good time for that. We will take a little bit of a break over the end of December, over the holidays, and then open back up in January. But now would be a good time to come and talk to somebody.
I think we're up until the 21st, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so plenty of time.
Yep.
So get on over. And that's
Yeah.
Newbern campus or the Havelock and or if you want to trade at the Fold Center.
That's right.
So,
Very good.
yes.
All right. I think you can close us out now.
All right.
Thanks, Hadley and Matt, for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
So pleased
absolutely.
you came and brought her.
Yeah.
Not Hadley her, but the dresser.
Yeah.
But again, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you next week. So stay happy, stay healthy, and safe. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.